Hey Ross, World, my money makes money. This is the money bit. Money bits are 1 to 2 minutes of fast. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm your host, Ross World. And today we're going to talk about how to build a financial future. Hey, what's going on, Rod? Nice to see you, man. That's one of my buddies, Rod Perry, millionaire. Yeah, I threw you out there like that, big dog. If you guys want to check out some channel, I have a couple of videos with Rod. The first video, we kind of toured Rod's home and we talk about a little bit about business and real estate. And then the second video, we talk about business as well. This video, we're going to talk about quite a few things. I'm not going to be before you long. As the pastor will say, I won't be before you long, but they're always like an hour or two. And how you doing, Miss Curly Girl? Nice to see you this afternoon. So I got a treat for everyone. Next Sunday at 2 p.m., Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to have on Jamie James. She is an economist. And just so you know, a little bit of information about her and her organization. Her organization is nonprofit. Her services are totally free. Her and her business partner, who is also the co-founder, her name is Andy Smith. So I'm just going to share my screen with you guys so you see exactly what I'm looking at on their website. So this is their website, Building a Financial Future. Again, they're a nonprofit organization who doesn't take profit, and they do this out just the kindness of their hearts. Now, here are the two ladies, Jamie James and Andy Smith. As I said, Jamie James is an economist, and also Andy Smith is an accountant, okay, a financial accountant. And they're basically telling you how to build a financial future, like, you know, having that strong base, even in these economical times where people are losing their jobs, lost their jobs. Thank God for some relief with the stimulus package, which we all know is not that much money, but nonetheless, they're trying to do the best they can. On the other hand, when you talk to my buddy, like if you looked at my video last night, my boy Gashar Dixon, we talked about the new world order and how they're giving out these stimulus check, and there may even be a third stimulus check that they tell you they're trying to push the economy because essentially the economy right now is in a recession. If anybody has any disagreements or you want to add information, please put it in the chat, okay? But anyway, this is their website. If you want to check them out, they're going to be live with me next Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm going to do you one more favor. I'm going to show you Jamie James doing an interview on cheddar cheese here, on cheddar cheese. Let's see what she's talking about.
Online forms of lending, even robo-advising. What's interesting is it's not even the number of fintech firms that are growing, it's also the actual number, the actual value of the fintech firms. There was a Forbes study conducted in 2019 where they highlighted the top 50 fintech firms, and what they found was 19 of those 50 firms were valued at over $1 billion.
Wow.
So the growth is just really speaking for itself.
What are some of the fintech trends that you anticipate for this year?
I would say that for some of the trends that we're anticipating are things like, the use of big data and the kind of the personalization of that through AI technology. Actually, similar to the Twitter survey that you had out, I think a lot of people are anticipating that. What you're noticing now is that these companies are gathering a lot of data about you. So with the use of AI technology, I wouldn't be surprised to see fintech firms actually market directly to you based on that.
All right, so that was just a little bit from her, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just excited to have them on my show, on my channel. They're going to give a lot great information now. She does have her own channel if you want to go and support her or maybe do some research about her. The name of her channel is her name, Jamie James. And again, she is an economist. She has actually worked for the Federal Reserve. So if you have any questions dealing with the stimulus package, I'm going to give them a line of questioning that I'm going to send over to them so they can be prepared to answer those questions for you guys. But try to do my best to read your questions. But with my email, if that's in the description below, if you have any questions you want to ask an economist and an accountant, all in the same video, this is the time to do so, okay? These people are school trained. I asked them where they go. They went to some really good schools, by the way. All right, anyway, Now that I promoted them and promoted this video for next week, let's get into some money. All right, so first and foremost, quite frankly, me and my boy Rod just got off the phone, and the one thing we talked about was reading. Right? We're talking about reading. So these are 5 financial books I found on Investopedia that they're saying that these are the 5 financial books that are good to read. And I agree with about 3 of them. Okay, I've read about 3 of them. They're really good books with information. So I'm gonna point out the ones that I really think there's 2 I really think that you should read. Okay, so let's get into that as well. Let's talk about these books. All right, first and foremost, The Total Money Makeover. Let me tell you something about Dave Ramsey. I think he's phenomenal, but I also don't think this is the way. He talks about a debt-free life. Now, no one likes to be in debt, but as my boy Gashar and my buddy Rod would say, there's good debt and there's bad debt. Debt that makes you money is good debt, and bad debt is money that is debt that takes money away from you. Okay. That is what I'm learning from my millionaire friends. That's why I love those guys, because they give the information freely and they know how to speak to it, okay? Because anybody can give you fancy quotes, fancy phrases, but when someone can speak to something, because these guys are scholars in their fields. They not just only do the business, but they read. And I keep telling you people to read. I'm encouraging people to read. So is this book a good book? Yes, it's a good book. It's going to have a lot of good financial information to help you with yourself. But when you talk about really making money, you have to start thinking about debt and what debt truly is. Anytime somebody talks about debt, they talk about it in a very negative connotation. Well, what I've learned over the course of many years is debt can be good. It just depends on what type of debt it is. Okay, now let's talk about this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Love this book, love this guy, Robert Kiyosaki. This book would teach you things that you would never learn in school, that you would never learn in traditional college, because he's telling you that a lot of things are fake. He just came out with a book called Fake, right? Fake investments, fake this, fake that, because he deals in real property. And guess what? Guess what? My friends also deal in real, okay? Real estate is real property. They also deal in gold and silver. That'll tangible things, okay? Commodities, oil, gas, real tangible things. Now, granted, I do disagree with Robert on some things. I have made quite a bit of money off investing in the stock market. Okay, but if you're not gonna be steadfast in the stock market, if you're not gonna do your research, if you're not gonna go over analytics and metrics, if that stuff bores you and tires you out, then things like investing in gold and real estate are probably more profitable, because you can actually make a lot of money in a short period of time. This depends on how you structure it. Now, I talked about briefly last night with my buddy Gashar that option trading is also another good form of making a lot of money very quickly, but you can also lose a lot of money very quickly. Because I've lost $500 in 2 days, but I've also made $400 in 3 minutes. So I know that's all over the board when you try to do the ratios and you try to make some connections there, but that's how option trading is. You have to really practice option trading. I went on practicing option trading on platforms just to try to get the hang of it. Anyway, The Intelligent Investor. This is a good book. Now, rated number 1 for me is Rich Dad Poor Dad. The Intelligent Investor is a good one. I wouldn't really say that's a must-need read. And you have Real Money by Jim Cramer. That's also a really good book. He talks about real money, okay? Basically how to also using stocks and using other diversified forms of profitable income that can actually hedge some of your investments. See, when people talk about hedging, and I mentioned this quite briefly last night, basically hedging stocks or hedging real estate or hedging gold and silver, it's a form of insurance. And it's the way, again, how you structure the way you have your diversification in order to hedge things. Now, granted, the example that Bashar gave last night, and this is referencing to Rod, how when you buy a certain amount of property, okay, so my buddy Gashar is into flipping homes. My buddy Rod is to buy and hold and rent property out. And Gigi said, I'm not into, I don't know exactly how he said it, but basically he was saying he doesn't want to have to get into a point where he's buying property and during a time like this, people are not paying him his money. That's why he'd rather flip homes, right? Because in order to hedge some of Rod's investments, he had to have multiple homes, right? Say, for instance, he only had 2 homes. One person's paying, one person's not. Either he's upside down or he's at a small profit. But when you start getting to 10 and 15 homes, and you say, well, okay, 5 people are not paying, but my other 10 are, he's still protected. Because the key to making money is not coming out of your own pocket. We understand that. The key of earning money is not coming out of your own pocket. Okay, it's using somebody else's money to raise your capital. Okay, that's why people go to banks to get loans. The banks will get their money back, but people, investors, real estate investors, commodity investors are taking that money, investing it in buying products or property or land, and making profit out of that, paying off their loans, and then the residual are going into their bank accounts, what's left over. That is how you make money, not coming out of your own pockets. Now, one of my favorite books, I read this book, and I have also had it on audiobook, The Richest Man in Babylon, a really, really good book. Now, this right here, this is the basis of how you make money. This is the basis. This book is the basis of how you make money. And none of these books are really that long to read. Some of my friends, they read a chapter a day. They read 10 to 15 pages a day. And then they keep it moving. They have other things they want to do or absolutely do nothing. But they're reading every day. And that's what I'm trying to push to you people. You must read. You want somebody to give you all the answers to the tests. Do you remember grade school? Does anybody remember grade school? Do you remember grade school when you had to read, you had to study, and you had to take quizzes in order to learn certain information? And this is the thing for Black people, information is readily available, but some information is hard to discover and find. But some of this is you. When you go on a sabbatical, you go on your own journey, you will start noticing when you turn off the TV, okay, when you turn off the TV, when you let other things start to deflect your true purpose, then you will start picking up books like this, okay? Black Labor, White Wealth. This is all about money. We understand that slavery was all about money. But see, before you build a financial future, you have to start with a good book. You have to start with a good book. And that's what you guys really need to understand. I'm moving right along. I found this other story here in Investopedia, which I believe is very profitable for you guys to do, because this is my story. This is my story. Because some of you believe that you need to go out and get a 4-year degree or get a $5,000 to $10,000 certification on how to be a self-taught financial expert. Okay? What is the first thing that Investopedia said? It says start reading. It said start reading, didn't it? I didn't do this. I didn't make this website. I've been telling you guys to read books for years. I've been pushing reading for years, haven't I? Okay, start reading. What's the first book? The Richest Man in Babylon. It's not a conspiracy theory, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't make this stuff up. Okay? Look at this. It says, once you covered the Financial Dummies series, providing insight to everything from budgeting, okay, budgeting, that's the first step, to mutual funds, manage your money for dummies, budgeting for dummies, and mutual funds for dummies, okay? And then we get down here, it says, I have a short video, then it said, take a course, hit the books again. Take a course and hit the books again. Okay, then talk to experts. Now, granted, if anybody knows me, these are my steps. These are my steps. First of all, I started reading, right? Because I went through so many financial hardships. I started reading. Then if anybody heard plenty of my videos, I say I took courses. Then I continue to read. I'm going right then. And I always talk to experts. Jamie James, expert. Andy, I'm sorry, I always forget her second name. Excuse me, Andy. Andy Smith, I believe. Yes, Andy Smith, expert. Okay. Stephen Gardner, expert. That is what I'm doing. Stop thinking that you have to go out and take all these expensive courses where you can be a self-taught financial expert. All right, let's get into some things that are going to actually help you guys during this whole crisis, this pandemic about COVID-19. And again, my favorite website, Investopedia, because they give me the information I need to really project on you guys so you understand what the hell is going on. Okay, so let's go over here. I'm going to let you look at what I'm looking at. All right. So it says right here, Paycheck Protection Program. Paycheck Protection Program. I know some of you are already interested in what that truly means. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit to you, not to insult your intelligence. The main driver of small business stimulus in the CARES Act is contained in the Paycheck Protection Program. The $349 billion funded under the Small Business Administration, that's the SBA, Business Loans Program account is intended to provide loans to businesses to guarantee 8 weeks, that's 2 months, of payroll and other costs to help those businesses remain viable and allow their workers to pay their bills. Now, here are the key takeaways they point out. You should apply for the PPP loan as soon as possible. The PPP loans are available for the lesser of $10 million or 2.5 times your average monthly payroll. 100% of your loan could be forgiven if you follow guidelines. Again, 100% of your loan could be forgiven if you follow guidelines. Words have meanings. Understand those could and ifs, okay? You can apply for both a PPP and an EIDL loan if you wish. Check eligibility before you apply. Now, I'm not going to read all this to you, but I'm letting this known to you guys. You can look at the website up at the top. And here's the eligibility for these loans, okay? This is how it is actually broken down. Any business categorized under accommodation of food services, such as restaurants and hotels, that have 500 or few employees per location, because this is about small businesses, independently owned franchises, self-employed workers, independent contractors, gig workers, and sole proprietors. Now listen, gig workers. I want you to think about gig. What is a gig worker? Is Uber a gig worker? Is Lyft a gig worker? Is people who operate on Fiverr gig workers? Are DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grubhub, are they gig workers? They are all gig workers. Those independent marketers online, you're making programs and products for people, for their businesses, gig workers, okay? People who do a lot of business over the internet, gig workers. This is for you. All right, where to apply? Where to apply? It says here that the PPP loans are being administered by approved small business lenders and are actually a few form of existing. You can apply for your PPP loan through any of the 1,800 participating SBA approved 7A lenders or through any participating federally insured depository institutions, federally insured credit unions, and farm credit system institutions. Okay. So again, I'm not going to read all this to you, but I'm just going to briefly go over it. Okay. How PPP loan forgiveness works. And they have a breakdown. Now, we know what a sole proprietorship is, right? And that's what they talk about, sole proprietors. That is when you have your own business and it's just you. Now, off subject just a little bit, I want to break this down to you. I would never in my life become a sole proprietor. I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're sole proprietary, they count that as your personal income, right? That's going to go on your 1040 or 1040 EZ. They count it as your personal income, and you cannot put that under your business. The only way you can put that under your business if you have an LLC. And what you actually want to do is build an LLC and have a silent partner. But you need somebody else on that LLC in order for you to have that limited liability company. I don't approve, I don't agree with having a sole proprietorship. I think it's going to hurt you when it comes to tax write-off and tax deduction. That is just my opinion, okay? That is my opinion. That is my point of view. New businesses. Average monthly payroll from the 1st to the 29th of February capped at $100K per employee. And then other eligible forgivable costs, interest on mortgages, rent under lease, agreements, and utilities. All right, and then they give you the breakdown, the triple P versus the EIDL, and yes, you can get both. Okay. Loan administrators, SBA approved lenders and SBAs. Max amount, lesser of 10 million or 2.5 times the average of monthly payroll. And then the other one is only up to 2 million. The term is 2 years, and the other one's 30 years. Interest rate, yeah, you get less with a longer time at a high interest rate. Look at that. We call that bad debt sometimes. It just depends on how you use this money. And again, these can be 100% forgivable depending on how you use it. Remember that. Depending on how you use it. So one term is 2 years. The other one you have up to 30 years to pay it back, but it is at 3.75%. So you want to be real cautious with that. Because I'm gonna tell you what people are doing. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give that later on. All right, deferral 6-month interest accruals. You can defer the other one for a year. Prepaid allowed, yes, without penalty. Can be used for payroll, benefits, mortgage, interest, rent, utilities, other debts. Okay. The other one, payroll, benefits, accounts payable, other expenses, refinance debt, yes, for EIDL, and no. Collateral required, no. For loans over $25,000, yes. Forgiveness, yes. If 75% of this is payroll, okay, yes, for $10,000 advance. And then guaranteed required, none. No loans under 200,000. So let me tell you this. Let me tell you the benefits of having your own company really quickly, because we're learning how to build a financial future. And believe it or not, how to build a financial future is really in having your own business. Now, I was just talking to my buddy Rod on the phone before I came online, and I talked about I have an LLC, but I haven't really done anything with the business. I haven't really made any profit off of it yet. But starting off a new business, did you know that people who have businesses who business shut down, they can apply for this and they're going to get it. And they can use it to pay their rent. So a lot of people who was encouraged to start their own business, they're not hurting. They're taking a lot of this money from the stimulus package, not that $1,200. That $1,200 is crap. They ain't gonna do nothing for you. They're taking out $25,000. They're taking out $50,000, and they're paying their mortgage. And again, a company, an LLC, right? Even though they name a sole proprietary, that you can do this too. But again, later on, when all this is over, when you have a sole proprietorship, they count that as your personal income, the money you make from your business. So that's why you need an LLC, in my opinion. But that is going to be on your business. Okay, that's going to be on your business, not on your person when you're trying to apply for these loans. And some of you are probably asking, how do I build a financial future? I'm giving you all these nuggets for you to connect the dots, right? I told you about how to read. I'm sorry. I didn't teach you how to read. You know what I mean? I showed you some books that you should read rather. And then I told you the steps that I took that Investopedia actually did a journal on, how to be yourself, a self-taught financial expert. Okay? Now we're talking about business, because this is all about building a financial future. If you're going to stop and like, you know what? I have no more debt. I'm making good money and I'm living a comfortable life. Now, if you see a car that drives past and you can't afford that car, then you're not living your best life. If you drive down a neighborhood and you say, "Oh, these are really nice houses," and the first thing you do because you want to stop yourself, no, I don't want a big yard like that. I don't want a big house like that. Why not? If you like it, because you think you don't have to take care of it, why not have it made? But see, you get what I'm trying to say? How to build a financial future, because a lot of times you put a cap on yourself. You put a ceiling on yourself. Rich people don't. Rich people try to get richer. You know why? They want to live their best life. You know, somebody said, I just want to make $1 million a year. That's it. Well, what do you want in life? What is it that you truly want? I just want a 7 Series BMW and a 2,800 square foot house. Then you don't need to make $1 million. You don't need to have $1 million salary a year. You probably need about $70,000 to have that. Yeah, 70, 80,000 can get you a 7 Series BMW and a 2,800 square foot house. See, my thing is I don't know my limit. I don't know. Every time I see something better, I want that. So I don't have a cap. I don't have a ceiling of where my financial future should be. See, rich people don't put a cap. They say, you know what? I made 100 million. I'm good. What if Oprah Winfrey, which I'm not promoting her, say, I'm at 100 million. That's what I want to do. And guess what people do when they make more money? They think of other ideas of things they wanted to do. See, when Oprah had her own TV show back in the 80s and early 90s, was it the 80s? I know it was at least the late 80s and early 90s. She had her own show, right? I'm pretty sure she said, you know what, one day I want my own network, but how do I get there? But then sometimes rich people, what they do, guess what they do? They make a lot of money not knowing what they want to do, but with more money comes what? More options. I kind of gave the analogy last night about I'm making 50,000, you're making 150,000. We're going to Whole Foods because we know Whole Foods sell a lot of what? Organic foods, okay? Organic. Nobody really knows. But I shop at Whole Foods quite a bit. I shop there more than I do Safeway. I shop at Whole Foods. Some people call it whole paycheck because it's very expensive. Now, what's the difference between expensive and cheap? It really is based on how much money you have or how much money you're willing to spend. I want you to think about it. Because me and you go on Whole Foods and we buy the same thing, the $50,000 me is going to say, man, this place is expensive. Because I still have mortgage or rent, car note, car insurance, and utilities, okay, cell phone and some other bills. But a guy who's making $150,000 a year, like, stuff ain't expensive, man, And or he started from the bottom, like myself, and now he's here and say, yeah, I can understand why you think this is expensive. Because I have so much money coming in, it's expensive when I was making 50, 60,000, but now I'm making over 150,000, not a lot of money. And then people who are making 400,000, 500,000, $1 million a year, Whole Foods is cheap as hell to them. Really, unless they don't have a lot of debt, bad debt. So I want to really get your mind driving. I want to really get your mind those thoughts. You start having those epiphanies because money, when I really think about it, right? Let me get my props out. Money, this means nothing. This means nothing. When you see people on YouTube and rappers show you a bunch of money, I started thinking about Jay-Z, how Jay-Z started to buy paintings, right? He's building an empire of wealth through diversification of tangibles, right? Things that you can hold, like an expensive painting that he can pass down. And the older that painting gets, the more profitable it becomes. That's called investments. So some of you have a mountain of bad debt. And some of you ask me questions like, hey, Roswell, how do I earn a lot of money by investing? I'm not gonna lie. I scratch my head I don't get tired of the question, but the question pissed me off because nobody's listening, right? First, you need a budget. First, you need a budget. You need a budget. I can't, if you don't know how much money you have coming in and you don't know how much money you have going out, then you don't know a damn thing. You don't know a damn thing. It's like men babysitting their kids. They in the room. What's that noise back there? Men don't go check. We got the game on. We got a brewski. We chilling. We ain't checking those kids. Long as we don't hear nobody dying, we good. Y'all better stop all that noise. No, women, they want to go and investigate. That's how you are with your budget. You don't know what's going on in your finances. Some of you are scared. Some of you are fearful. Scared money don't make money. Scared money don't make money. I'm telling you that right now. So you guys need to get off your butts. And first thing is create a budget. Let me read some of your notes and I'm going to get back on track. All right. Good afternoon, Ashley. Oh, you like the beard? You see I grew the beard? You like that? Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's see what we got. Thank you, Miss Curly Girl, for on your moderation. I appreciate that. We got Clan Killer in the room. Bought a RH at 105 and flipped it for 123,000. Thanks to you, brother. Well, hey man, somebody need to make this money out here. And granted, my boy Gigi last night, that's Gashar, I'm just gonna call him Gigi. That's my college buddy. And we talked about how the market right now, I said, hey, when is a good time to buy a house? He said, it depends on the deal. You know, when I really think about it, the way that these real estate tycoons really think, they're really intelligent people because of the information that they have obtained. He didn't even think about it, right? He didn't even think about it because I would tell you guys, say, hey, when is a good time to go buy a house or rent a house or flip a house? I say, you know, right now, the interest rates are dropping down to, 3 and 2%. So by June, July, as we started coming out of it, the interest rate's going to be probably 2 to 1%, So that's when the time to buy. Gigi said, it depends on the deal. And that is the correct answer. I'm pretty sure Rod would agree to that. It depends on the deal. Okay. And also, let me get back to your notes before I get into the second part of the video. Thank you, Miss Curly Girl, for the book list. Dread Mike, I read all them books, but number 4, Real Money. I got that book too. Dr. Claude Anderson book, Powernomics. That's a good book. I have the electronic copy. Let's see here. Black Labor, White Wealth. Oh, you haven't read that yet? That's a really good book. It may get you upset though. It got a lot of stuff how during the Jim Crow years, stuff you already know, but dates and actual legislation that held Black people back from building their own business to obtaining any sort of wealth. Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson is an excellent book that every Black person should read. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Dread Mike said I own both Uber and Lyft on my stash account. Okay. The Vintage Poet. Happy Easter. Stay healthy. Stay home. All right. Okay. Back on track. So one thing that Gigi and Rob both agree on, which I absolutely love, is they don't buy properties at full value. They don't. They buy property at 70% of the value. 70% of the value. Okay. So there's a home for $100,000. They try to get it for $70,000. Okay. Something like that. But last night we talked about, take for instance, a home is worth $400,000. He said the bare minimum he would try to buy that home for is $300,000. He won't go over $300,000 for that home. Because since he's flipping homes, a lot of these homes have to be rehabbed. And I said, well, I can understand that because you may take 50,000 of that. I'm sorry, no, excuse me. Let me back up. The house equity is $400,000. He's going to purchase it for $300,000, right? Because of how much the house is worth. He's going to pull 50,000 out of that equity to rehab it, to bring it up to sanction codes for that city, that state, um, and hoping to make a profit even off the equity he pulled out of that home, right? Put in money where people love it at, the kitchens and bathrooms. So hopefully the 50,000, he can even double that sometimes, just depending on location. Like he would make a lot of money in New York City, but probably not as much money in Louisiana. Because again, he buy homes around the US. Now, some of my friends who make a lot of money, no one makes money except the men. My apologies, I'm trying to get out of that. Earn, those people who invest and earn a lot of money, they usually buy in their old neighborhoods that they grew up in, or cities that they actually know the layout and how things are actually structured. Like me, I'm born and raised in Washington D.C., but the profit margin is not there, not in D.C. Homes, even in low impoverished neighborhoods, are expensive. Like if I went to Florida and bought a $400,000 home versus DC, it's literally like apples to grape. I'm gonna get a mansion in Florida and get a studio apartment in DC. It's just an example. Okay, you're not gonna get the same thing worth your money. So you got to go somewhere where the market is down, and that you can even possibly project that the market is going up. But depending on if you want to buy, hold, and rent, or you want to buy and flip, it just depends. How to build a financial future. What about gold? What about silver? Now, I talked to, again, going back to my buddy Rod, he buys gold because you can move more gold in less weight than you can silver, okay? And we agree on, I agree with him on that, but I also agree in buying silver because I believe silver is going to be the next commodity that is going to boom because the many uses of silver in medical grade products and supplies, and also solar panels, okay? As this world is turning to a green deal sort of world, then silver is going to be used a lot more, in my opinion, okay? But we have to learn where to invest, how to invest. But again, I know what I'm going to say. First, got to have a budget, and you have to read. You have to read like nobody's business. Okay, pick up a financial book. Pick up a book that teach you about yourself. Because here's the thing, if you don't like reading, I gotta tell you, some financial books are boring. If you don't like reading, first off, if you haven't been reading for years, first of all, read a book that is, something that you like. You like a drama book, read a drama book. You like an action book, read an action book. A fantasy book, read a fantasy book. A comedy book, read a comedy book. There's many different genres. You like conspiracy theories, go pick up the New World Order book. Read whatever subject and titles that you enjoy first, that kind of generate, you know how you start up a car? You have to kind of jumpstart your engine, jumpstart your brain to reading again. Because you will pick up a financial book like Damon Johns. You know, Damon Johns, the black dude on Shark Tank, Rise and Grind. That's a good book. You'll start reading that and you're like, yeah. And yeah. You probably have to read something that's going to interest you in reading again. Here's another one. Here's another method. A couple of buddies of mine do this. They read a chapter a day so you don't bore yourself out. Or they read 10 to 15 pages a day so they don't bore themselves out. But they're reading every day. So these are different methods that you can use to retain that information. And again, you know me, paper and pen while you're reading, because you want to take down notes. You shouldn't want to take down notes. Like earlier this morning, I was on my pre-interview with Jamie James. I wrote down notes, okay? I wrote down information because information is key to making money. Information is key in earning money. Said it again, didn't I? And I touched my face like 100,000 times. Anyway, Rod says, okay, Rod's still in the room. You make money when you buy, not when you sell. Rod, stop. You know what, Rod? Stop it. Stop it. You and Gigi, I need to have you and my buddy Gashar get on because he's going to talk about I'm telling you, you know what? Don't make me do it, Rod. Don't make me do it. I can get you guys in the same room talking about flipping houses, buy, hold, and rent. Sometimes you may bid on 10 or 15 homes before you land one. I agree, even though I've never done it, but I agree. My uncle invests in real estate. He gets it through by tax lien, tax sale, and tax deed. Huh. Okay. But Rod brings up a good point because I actually agree with buying, hold, and rent versus selling. But I kind of want to point out some information. I think I wrote down the time. I think it was like at 35 minutes. My buddy Gigi put out some information that I want to actually show you guys that I think will be profitable. I'm gonna start this for 35 minutes. Just bear with me. All right, here we go.
Without the government restrictions and without the market, if you let the market dictate, what happens is that products over time get cheaper. You even if you make the same money, your spending power goes up. So a dollar that you save today is actually worth more tomorrow. And that allows us to be able to, one, sustain ourselves in times like this, but also use that time, use that extra funding to invest and create and continue to grow the economy. You know, we should be making our own stuff here. It's very possible that we can, but obviously when you put flaws and laws in place, companies are going to do what they have to do to get the best products elsewhere and make it cheaper.
So let me ask you this, because I know some people want to. I know some people out there. I see Elliot in the room. Who else? I see Wanda Wisdom, D Nice. These some of my subscribers, man. But this is why I know some people, and I want to know myself. Now I've been looking at houses because I already knew the economy is going to crap.
Yeah.
My question is this: I'm buying. First of all, I'm going to buy a house for me, right? For me.
Mm-hmm.
And single family home. But what if I already have a house? What if I already have a home and I'm looking into real estate, right? And I know you're big into flipping. Another buddy of mine, where I did a video on what I told you about, named Rod Perry. He's into buy and hold. He rents. Now, what if I don't want to do a lot of work? Because that's the truth, right? You a businessman, you're a hard worker, you was homeless twice, you got yourself out of there, you're a millionaire. So you're all about hard work, but everybody's not about hard work. They're like, hey, I can spare maybe maybe $1,002, $2,000 for 2 months. I want to buy a property, but I don't have to do a lot of work. Should they flip the home or should they rent it? Now, my advice would be rent it, but then the question would be, what type of home should they be looking for? And any advice you may have on that.
When you say rent, are you speaking about the home that they're currently in? Or are you looking at?
No, they buy. Say for instance, I'm in a single family home that I'm paying a mortgage on. I'm buying it, but they want to buy another property. Should they buy a rental property? Like it could be a single family home they just rent out, or a duplex, or a condo, or whatever. What is your advice? Do you think they should rent it because they don't want to do a lot of work? Okay, because some people like, I don't want to have to go here and go there and go to the title office. I just want to have steady income coming in. Whereas though you flip so many houses within the 3-month span, the profits that you're going to receive from that. Somebody just wants something steady where they don't have to do a lot of work. What is your advice on that?
Get a goldfish.
Yo, man, what is wrong with you, man? Get a goldfish. Yo.
Listen,
nah, man.
Nothing like people talk about the joys of having kids, but there's some stuff or BS that comes with it as well. So the flipping side is this: you don't have tenants, but then you have the pressure of dealing with contractors and I'm buying correctly and selling and carrying costs and all that nature. And you also, when you buy another property, you have the issue of dealing with tenants. Now, me personally, you got to be very wary about making a single family your first investment. You know, I typically don't like investments where if one person pays, I'm positive. If one person doesn't pay, I'm negative. You know, that's a coin toss. Anything can happen. Somebody can die, and you've turned the income stream into a very hefty bill. So usually, if you're doing the single family thing, you want to make sure that you're at a price point that if that tenant doesn't pay, it's not going to hurt you to control it. That you're in a market where, not like New York or California, where it's going to take a very long time to get the tenant out. Um, and you want to obviously try to get multiple units. You know, you don't want to just bank on one property. So if you're building a portfolio and you're starting with a single family, the goal should be to get to 5 to 10 as quickly as possible, so that you can hedge yourself. Because the last thing you want to do is create a bill. So
Now, real quick, what people don't understand, hedging is a form that financial people use or people in the market for. It's a kind of insurance. I've talked about it
yeah,
before.
absolutely, yeah. But there's some you know, you have to look at your lifestyle and really what you want as far as you know, like you said, do you want the big windfalls of money, or do you want you know, steady money?
I mean,
And
I'm just trying to turn up every night. You know how I get down, baby. Yeah, shoot, I'm trying to turn up.
yeah, but I've dealt with both, and they both have their advantages. Obviously, I've sold a lot of my stuff prior to this year, just because I didn't like what was going on in the market. And
Yeah.
let me help you guys out with this, so you can make better decisions as far as when to buy and what to buy.
All right. So that is the video that me and my buddy made last night. We were live last night, and I'm trying to get Rod on again. He's a busy man as well, even through this recession pandemic of COVID-19. So again, he said he doesn't want to buy, you know, someone pays with a home, he's positive, somebody else doesn't pay, he's negative. So they both have different ways of how they go about making money. And granted, I try to give you guys all the information on the many different ways to make money. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you can have a different portfolio. On one hand, you buy, hold, and rent. And the other hand, you may flip a few homes. Or you may just be a simple investor of commodities like gold and silver, where you can find a private international seller. You buy gold at a bottom price and silver at a bottom price, and then do exchanges where you make profit off of that. Or you go into option trading, or you build your own business, or you invent a product, or you scale your business off a product you can buy at a low price and sell at a higher price. Again, like shades. I love bringing up my shades thing because I made so much money for selling shades, right? Because people want Ray-Bans and all of that, but at the end of the day, you just want some nice looking shades, man. Now, granted, I got some other shades I wear. You see me when I'm in my car, but I like these shades. Somebody said these are girl shades. Man, these ain't no girl shades, man. These some nice shades right here. That's just, but my point is, I went on Wish and I bought, I don't know, 300 to 500 pairs of shades. I bought them for $3 a piece. $3 a piece. And I sold them for $25, $30. Okay, $25, $30. Okay, yeah, not these shades, not these shades. There were some other shades, but they still look good. Okay, they still look good. But my point being is, you guys have to not figure out how to make money, because you don't have to figure out anything. The different ways of making money is already out there. You just have to choose an avenue. Okay, you choose that avenue, you fail. Try something else. You choose that road, you fail. Try something else. You choose, don't give up. Don't give up. I forgot there was a powerful quote. that somebody made, but basically they were saying the difference between someone successful and unsuccessful is that the unsuccessful person quit while the successful person kept going. That was the difference, okay? I'm gonna try to find that picture real quick of me in those shades because I think they're really good looking shades. But I want you guys to really take heed of the information that I'm giving out to you guys because I believe that it can be very profitable. I believe that it can be very profitable if you try something. See, you don't know if you're gonna fail unless you try. You don't know if you're gonna fail unless you try. This is not a good picture. Let me try to find you a good picture. This is when I was in Dominican Republic. Okay, that was when I was in Dominican Republic. There was some shades that I used to sell, but I was doing some sort of off-roading. I'm gonna try to find you a better picture that really highlight the shades. Okay. Oh, that's a better picture. Okay, those are some of the shades I was selling. I bought them for $3 off of Wish and Alibaba. Okay, I was selling them things for $20 to $40. Okay, but anyway, I didn't want to be before you long, and I think I was about an hour. See, that's what the preachers tell you. I'm being here 30 minutes. No, you wasn't. You was in here a whole hour, and I had things to do, football on. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully you got some information out of this. Also, if you have an opportunity today, it's an hour long, but it's a really good discussion that me and Gigi had. And again, I have a couple of videos with Rod, and in the future, me and Rod gonna do some other things. But look at these videos, man. These are coming from people who come from your same neighborhoods. Like I'm from Washington, D.C. inner city. Okay, Rod is from Detroit inner city. Gigi is from New York inner city. So you're talking to guys who started from nothing. I mean, I'm not a millionaire. They are. But we're doing okay for ourselves, okay? So hopefully you learned something here. Hopefully I'm getting your mind going. Hopefully I'm motivating you, inspiring you to read and create your budget and get your things going, get into business. Just giving you some ideas, man, so we can make this money and we can be here instead of where everybody look at us down here. Learn money and be inspired. I'm out, guys. You guys have a wonderful day.